Coaching, it's something that I've kind of done since college, but I think I when I first started, it was just personal training at a local gym, and I really wanted to specify more with the people that I know the best, and that's the hockey players. So I just started recently here after coaching ice hockey for the past 4 years locally here in York, and wanted to shift gears to just work with them off ice. What drew me to Liberty Barbell is my friend Ned, just opening it up, and his vision with making it for athletes with the turf throughout the facility, with the sleds, with all the stuff that we need. I've known Ned for quite a while, and when he shared what he wanted to do with the space, it sounded perfect for what I was trying to do. Yeah, I think that when it comes to coaching the athletes that I work with, it's about more than just the sets and reps. It's about the mentality that we have, the attitudes that we carry, how intense we go after the things that we want. I really spend a lot of time in the mental space and how you view what we're doing. I don't want my athletes ever doing something that seems purposeless, that seems stupid and pointless. And why are we doing this, coach? I try to give them reasons for every single exercise that we're doing so that they do it with all their might, with all their intensity. The most rewarding part is seeing the development that happens and seeing the athletes that I work with tie things back to things that happened in the gym. To see them, get just a little bit better, even if it's just 1%, even if it's just a little step that they have on that other opponent that they're playing against. That's the most rewarding part for me. I think assessments, there's a lot of standard tests that you can do, and that's all well and good. I think also, though, it's just observation through what they do naturally, just even how they walk, how they're running, how they're jumping. Sure, we can put them in a squat rack and say, what's your 1 rep max? And that's what everybody does. But I think really it's more than that. It's the informal observations. It's the moments where, okay, I just kind of see how they carry themselves, and I see the things that I need to work on. I see they kind of have a hip shift, or they have a little bit of struggle balancing on their right foot versus their left foot. Just those little details that are beyond the standardized testing, I think, are huge, and that's what I try to do. It's not necessarily the moments where people achieve the highest thing. It's when they maybe did the smallest thing that they couldn't do before, and that's what really I took a lot of joy in, knowing that they were able to do a box jump, like great. That's really huge when they couldn't do them before. I was telling these guys today that anything that's unilateral, one side at a time, I think that is more bang for your buck when it comes to developing an athlete. So anytime that I can get them to bounce on 1 foot, or to push with just 1 arm, and just to develop the body that way, I think that's what's best. Let's take a bench press, for instance. I can figure out a way to get that weight up. If I'm doing 1 arm at a time, I have to strengthen this arm the exact same amount as this arm. It's also beneficial because that's the way that we carry ourselves in sport. In sport, I'm not ever just pushing with both hands. Very rarely. Maybe football, you might see linemen do that. There are certain tasks out there, but athletes by nature, 1 foot at a time. We walk 1 foot at a time. We run 1 foot at a time. It's not very often that it's both feet working at the same time. It's not very often that it's both hands working at the same time in the same path. Injury prevention looks like taking our time with mobility, warming up properly, warming up specifically is probably a better word. We're not just doing arm circles just to do arm circles. We're warming up the muscles that we're going to use for the day. We're warming up preparing our bodies for the exercises we're going to do. So that's what it looks like. And then I think also injury prevention looks like proper progression. It doesn't look like, okay, 1 week we were doing 100 pounds, so here we go, let's do 200 pounds next week. It's proper progression, ego checking. It's having those honest conversations and making sure that we're taking a process approach and not just well, I just want to make a big jump today. This is the best training that you will receive. There's no other coach that cares about you the way that I will. DM us on Facebook or Instagram.